What's going on, everybody? My name is LILWOOLEY618, and today I want to talk to you about identity politics. Now, if you saw Test Talk, which is the podcast that me and my buddy AJ are doing, we're going to try to do it once a week on Saturdays. Go check it out. I'll have it linked down in the video description, as well as at the end of the video, I'll have it in the end screen. But we did our first episode of Tech Talk, and there was a couple of stories where during the conversation, I started bashing the idea of identity politics. Now, to me, identity politics, I look at it as, you take something that could pretty much be on any sort of like personal profile page, where you take either someone's race or someone's gender or someone's sexual orientation, and you use that to power your way through the political system. You see this a lot with whenever it comes to gender issues, like the abortion issue. It gets used quite a bit as you're taking away from women's rights, and you see that type of identity politics come into play. Where we see things like the recently the Chicago kidnapping. The race politics, the identity politics based on race are starting to come into play, and they were coming into play in 2016 really hard. With Donald Trump, saying he was going to build a wall, and it was like, oh my gosh, he hates Mexicans, he hates foreigners, he hates the immigration, blah 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 blah. And we're seeing this used a lot, and we're seeing this used a lot to shut people down. If people want to have a conversation about a lot of these issues, unfortunately, people have used identity politics to shut down all conversation, and that's really been kind of a problem with actually getting good policies passed. I think if you look at, if you disagree with, say, the wage gap, if you think that, that there are reasons why there is a gap there, and you don't believe it's entirely discrimination, you get called a sexist bigot or whatever. And this can be a problem. It shuts people down, because people are afraid to be called sexist, they're afraid to be called racist, they're afraid to be called homophobic, just because they have an opinion that doesn't necessarily fit a certain viewpoint. Now, I bash identity politics all the time because it takes away the discussion, takes away the debate, and it really is it's really void of, actual statistics of reality, essentially. And I bash this all the time. If you saw the stories we were talking about, Test Talk, it was, we had a story about a sexist mascot name, saying that the nickname Stallions was bad for female students at a Kentucky high school that is starting up, and they're getting their athletic program put together. I just don't see, Stallions really being that bad. I mean, it's just a nickname, other schools use it, from the high school level all the way through college level. To me, it's not that bad. And it kind of takes away from actual sexism. It takes away from actual racism. It takes away from actual bigotry. And that's my biggest problem with identity politics. It takes away from the actual issues, where Muslims are being targeted and being killed because, people are Islamophobic. And, vice versa, people on either maybe, like the Chicago kidnapping, let's take that for example. That white kid was a victim of identity politics and was a victim of a race-based target. He was targeted mostly because he was white. When you watch that video and they say, fuck white people, he was a target. He was a victim based on his race. I'm sorry, but he was. If you don't agree with me, if you think I'm, a bigot on that, I apologize, but you're dead wrong. But it takes away from the actual victims. When you say everything is sexist, or you say everything is racist, or you say everything is homophobic or Islamophobic or any phobic, you take away from the actual victims. You make everyone, not care about it as much, or you make everyone question about the victimhood of someone if they're actually victims. Because whenever you do this sort of, oh, this guy is sexist, I'm a victim of sexism, when really there's not really that much sexism at all, you kind of, lessen the effect of actual sexism. Well, you lessen the care of, people looking at actual sexism, and you really just kind of numb people to it. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. Do you think identity politics is a good thing? Is it a bad thing? And what should we do about it? I mean, is there anything we can do about it? Or is this going to be something that's going to be used against people, and it's going to stop debate, and it's going to stop, just overall logic? Let me know in the comment section below. If you liked the video, make sure to hit like, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and also go check out Test Talk. I think you'll understand where I'm coming from with a lot of this stuff. But anyway, my name's LILWOOLEY618, and I'm out. Peace.